Good morning, Silhouettes. We're here with Silhouette Radio, and today is going to be a very serious topic. I know so many times we think about our bodies after surgery, or we even think about our preoperative bodies, and we get so excited to go get that snatched tummy tuck, that BBL, that breast augmentation. But do we think about the longevity of maintaining overall health? So before we get started into some things today, I first want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors. We want to go ahead and give a huge shout out to our Miami sponsors, 305 Plastic Surgery, Vixen Plastic Surgery, New Life Plastic Surgery, and Bright Plastic Surgery. We also want to go ahead and shout out some of our Dominican Republic sponsors. We want to go ahead and shout out Isla Beauty Oasis. Thank you so much for being a sponsor of not only Surgery 411, but also Silhouette Radio. So today's boss quote is that true health is wealth. And that quote is so empowering because I think that so many times after we get our BBLs and we get our tummy tucks and we see our bodies and we see how snatched and fit we look, some of us may neglect ourselves just a little bit. And something that we talk so much about is self-care, right? So a lot of people say that surgery is a form of self-care, but let's not forget exercising, eating healthy, right? And many of us, especially silhouettes that have to lose weight, do that already to get on the table. But are you doing that post-operative so that way you can survive, right? So we talk about not only just eating because we're hungry, but eating for survival, working out for survival. And a lot of patients are getting on the table, and despite their doctor approving them for plastic surgery because they have a 39 BMI, a 37 BMI, a 35 BMI. Oh my goodness, I remember when you had to have a 30 BMI to have surgery. And if you had a 30.1, you were going to get canceled for surgery. And I remember Dr. Fisher was very strict on having a 30 BMI. And Dr. McAdoo was the only doctor at the time that was willing to do anyone with a 32 or 31. And that was in 2015. So here we are in 2023 where a 30, 31 BMI as the maximum requirement, like we're long past those days. And so saying that a doctor's BMI requirement is a 30 or a 31 is like aging yourself, or talking about the stone age, because doctors now are willing to do surgery on someone with a 39 BMI. And even though we know that a BMI is not the be-all, end-all of overall health, and doctors do look at the overall patients through extensive lab results and making sure that the patient is healthy, you know, the BMI standard does show that a patient with a 38 or a 39 BMI is considered to be unhealthy and obese. So today's interview segment, we have an amazing brand ambassador from Black Girls Run, and her name is Yvette Brownridge, and she's going to talk to us about the myths associated with being healthy, that people think that Black girls don't work out, or people assume that they don't have to work out because they appear physically fit. I'm excited to have her today as our guest. She is a brand ambassador, and it takes me back to the days when I was in the Army and we had to run 6 to 12 miles. I remember when I could run 2 miles in 14 minutes. I am long past that, but Yvette is going to motivate me today to try to get back in shape, because after having plastic surgery, I personally don't want to get back on the table right now, at least. You know, they always say that once you've had surgery, you're always going to potentially have surgery later in your lifetime. But I want to start getting in the gym. I want to work out. I want to be able to get that six-pack back naturally. And I want to motivate my followers to do the same as well. Like, the doctors already gave us what they gave us. Now we have to do the rest. So I'm going to turn it over to Yvette so she could tell us a little bit more. But before I do, I just wanted you guys to know some statistics. I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and we talk so much about heart health. We have every year in February, we have Pink Goes Red, where we focus on overall heart health and how important it is, because we know that Black women are negatively impacted by the statistics of obesity compared to our white counterparts. So we're going to pull up Yvette. She is with us virtually today.
Hi,
Hi, Yvette. I am so happy to have you. Thank you for being here. I love your hair.
thank you. It's all tied in my change of life with BGR. So let's get into it.
And I think I might have said Black Girls Rock, so if I did, forgive
Black
me, but
Girls Run.
Black Girls Run, yes. But Black Girls do rock.
Oh, of course, of course. Um, Black Girls Run was created in New York City to combat obesity in our communities. I joined over 10 years ago. I was just meeting up for the weekly runs. There's runs in every borough. They're free, there's no membership cost. And you get to run with a group of women that look like you, that are going through the same thing with you, and you experience a whole other lifestyle. I joined in my early 30s. I was getting, that 30 weight gain. It was awful, the 30 weight gain, and I needed a way. I work law enforcement. I needed a way to be able to combat stress and combat the weight gain. And I met a group of women who were, and then I decided to be a run coordinator and then became a New York City ambassador along with several of my other soul sisters. We focus on healthy living. Where by no means are we licensed dietitians. Many of us are licensed run coaches. Can put together we can put together a whole run plan. A lot of us do run marathons. I've done three major world marathons, over a dozen half marathons, and 5Ks, 10Ks, 10 milers. Um, and we just really enjoy it. We talk about things that matter to us. Even fitness industry, there is a difference in with clothing. A lot of us have the bigger legs, and trying to find clothing brands, and rather than just spending money to just find it, I can go to someone that looks like me and say, all right, this is what's going on. You know, um, I actually ended up going natural and locking my hair. I really thought I was doing something wrong, the big Farrah Fawcett curls and everything, and I'm doing runs and my hair is falling out with the salt. So now it's, do I really want to continue on with having this relaxer? Does this really go on with the lifestyle that I want to have? Do I want to stop being physically healthy to just be with the stereotype of a relaxer, in order to be considered beautiful? Um, it was just a whole lifestyle change, and working with JL Alexander, who's the CEO of BGR. She's also one of your sorors. She's an
Aw.
AKA, you know giving us clothing. We have our own pants. They fit us. There's no try and true. Oh, my pants are ripping through. She's going into partnerships with major companies, major brands, even with race coordinators. So there's an incentive for us as well. So we are just moving along. We're doing this whole countrywide recruitment. We have chapters in almost every state. And we're just really looking forward to having us change our lifestyles before we head to the table. Because
Yes.
even if heading to the table doesn't fix what is originally your issue,
I
right? So if your issue and not being active is your issue, going to be snatched is not going to change your ability to keep going.
Yeah, so I definitely love that. And I wanted to go back to when you first talked about hair. And so I remember being in the army over 10 years ago and getting to basic training. And the first thing that I put in my hair was cornrows. And so there was literally standards put into the United States Army that required that. There was at one point, like, there was an objection to dreadlocks, there was an objection to cornrows or to box braids, and these were things, right, that, like, we're training in basic training, we're not able to go to the hair salon to wash our hair, we're in the stand, and there was a different texture. And not being around people that could understand the importance of, there's a difference in our hair. And so, like, if you give us a 2-minute required shower, I'm not going to be able to take care of my hair as I need to compared to someone else. And so I love the topic of connecting and exercising with women that look like you. I did go to boarding school and I played sports, and I worked, and even with Surgery 411, there's so many different women. And I think that the divide happens is that there's so many people that cannot understand that even though we are all women, there are still differences based on our ethnicity, our upbringing, and just overall being black. And so I think that to hone in on that, because I know there are a lot of women who do not like when you try to differentiate between a black woman or a white woman. They try to say, no, we're all women. And I think that having been in so many environments of being what would be labeled as a minority woman, it is so important to advocate that we do need different things than our counterparts. And we're also impacted differently than our counterparts, right?
Absolutely. I'm like you, PWI. So going into a PWI for 4 years of college, living on campus, that became a topic of interest, definitely for my white peers of why did we spend so much time surrounding our hair, and a lot of the times being in an environment with women that look like you, it's so much, you see what we see each other and we're like, okay, girl, I don't care if it's a wig, go, hey wig, hey locks,
Right.
hey
Right.
ponytail, and it's you know coming to a run or seeing my soul sisters and asking them, what are you doing with your hair? What am I going to do? You know, and you're running. It's a different type of freedom. I mean, the
It
first
is.
time I ran 15 miles, it was a beautiful feeling. But then you're afterward, you're like, all right, so what am I going to eat and what am I going to do with my hair? Because my day isn't done. I still
Right.
got to go to the
You
supermarket. I can't sit there and I'm gonna wrap my hair up and I'm put the deep conditioner in and I'm gonna go sit. I still got to do my laundry, because running clothes, sweaty clothes stink. I still got to do my laundry. I still have to eat. I still have a family. I still have a life. And being able to discuss this with women that look like me was so reassuring. And yes, we do get the pushback. I'm in New York City and we'll girls run shirt and we'll have people come up to us. Well, all women run. We run too. And it's not saying that you don't run. It's saying that we run together. We don't exclude anyone, but we are our support system because, like we all know, we have different needs.
And it's combating the stereotype too that black girls don't run, right? And I cannot tell you how much of a stereotype that is, that we are less athletic, we don't enjoy sports, that we don't work out. And so I love to see, it's just like saying black girls rock, or it's not saying that other girls don't rock, but is to diminish the stereotype that is normally associated with that, especially because we know that we are more impacted negatively by issues of obesity and overall health. Can you speak to the aspect of obesity and just how your organization combats that, especially with women who are struggling with pregnancy weight? I know that I gained over 80 pounds when I had my son. I had severe preeclampsia and just not wanting to work out. How can your organization motivate women and connect women from all walks of life that not just are having surgery, because there's so many women who are considering surgery even though they didn't have it. So I just don't want to focus on my surgery sisters. I want to focus on overall health in all women.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a new mommy myself, and I did suffer from preeclampsia. I did have my daughter early. She was a preemie, and despite these are issues that I could not control, even with my diet and everything. However, I did lean on my running with. Going through her extended stay with the NICU. For BGR, we are free to join. You can log in online, you can sign up. There is a chapter in almost every state. There are BGR groups that correspond. You can log in. There's usually standing runs every week, or you can ask for a run buddy if you can't make any of the standing runs. We start with Walk Before You Run. So it's a program called Walk Before You Run. It's intervals of walking and running, and you can start out with that and just Flojo in the beginning, right? You're not going to be Shakari Richardson in the beginning. You're not going to be the Jamaican sprinters at the Olympics. But walking before you run is a great opportunity. You have the intervals and you have your plan. It's a plan laid out over a couple of weeks, and you can go on from there.
I definitely need to join you guys. I definitely need to join you guys because I'm overdue.
Come in, come on, and it's an awesome resource. We're not charging. It is free. It is
That's
open to
amazing.
everyone. We use public parks. We use the regular streets in New York City right now. We have summer streets. So your long run, if you know we're in the middle of marathon training season, so you can run anywhere from the Bronx straight through Manhattan to the Brooklyn
Wow.
Bridge. And if you need to do your 15 miler, there's always someone that's saying, "Yeah, I got to do 15 miles this week too. Come on, we all gonna do it together." You're not by yourself. You know, when we register for the marathon, who's running?
I for That's amazing. And I also wanted to congratulate you on being a new mommy. I know that experience so well, but I'm so happy that you had that support system of other women saying, "All right, sis, come on, you got to do this run, you got to exercise," because we also know that working out releases endorphins to your brain that makes you feel more happy. That's going to decrease, postpartum depression. And, like you said, there are issues that people aren't dealing with before they get on the table, which are overeating that you may need therapy for. And just to have that support system of another woman saying, like, either I've been there or I can support you. Um, is there anything that you want to share with us in terms of facts that we should be on the lookout for?
You should. One thing that we always recommend when entering a lifestyle of fitness is one, go to your doctor, get a full workup. Maybe your weight gain isn't just because you're eating or you're not eating something that you shouldn't be. Maybe you do have a thyroid issue, and that is something that is openly discussed. Always go to the doctor. You know, go to the doctor, get a full workup, go for a good shoe fitting. You know, you can injure yourself if you're not running in good running shoes. There are different stores that focus on running. They will put you on the treadmill. They'll tell you about your running stance. If you're pronate, you want to do things like that. Wearing clothing that is running related, such as the wicking material, a proper sports bra, you can go get fitted for those as well. So different things that you do, you should not just jump into it without laying the groundwork and really being reasonable about what your goals are, and always find support.
Is there any recommendations that you have for my surgery sisters? Like, how can we, a big fear is, oh my God, I spent $8,000 or 5,000, 30, whatever it is on this BBL. And I love how, I look, I'm more thick now. And so we're going out to eat more because the guys are taking us out more. And guess what? We're putting on the pounds. We don't want to lose the weight. That's the issue with us, right? We want to stay Coca-Cola bottle. But how can we work out without having to lose the weight?
Well, muscle more than fat. So, although I'm not an expert, I haven't gone under surgery, I would recommend that if you are getting shape surgery, you want the BBL, you do have to address your eating, right? I will recommend that you speak to a dietitian, speak to someone. Sometimes some people eat, or some people just eat socially. Being able to understand what that is an excellent issue. If you are working out, then you want to eat to be able to fuel your body. You're not going to want to eat just to be social. So yes, I may want to go get crab legs and dip them in the butter. Is butter necessary? It's things like that that you really, really, really want to address, and it's just the root of what your eating issue is. It's the root of what your eating issue is. It's not so much of, oh, I got this surgery and I don't want to gain weight. You really want to discuss with a licensed person about where it's come from, and a lot of it is deep. I grew up on white rice and bread.
It was cheap. It was there. Could feed.
You could feed an army. I grew up
Yes.
with a huge family. So that was one of the things that were discussed. Every year we have a big expo in one of the chosen cities in the United States. And they do talk about your eating habits and where it comes from. And being able to address that. Are you eating for comfort? Are you eating, you know, and sometimes, biscuits and gravy isn't the best.
That's true. That's true. Even though it tastes so good.
Even the salad, if you're putting a whole bunch of dressing, that takes away from the healthiness of the act. So those are some of the things that you'll definitely want to discuss with your medical team and a licensed dietitian about what fits for you.
Can you talk about how Black Girls Run advocates for overall better of health and wellness for women? What are some things that you guys are doing so that way people become more aware that there is a problem?
We do a lot of community events. We do partner up with different brands such as REI. We host events in the different stores. We do 2 weeks ago we did a shoe demo with Saucony. You know, trying out this new shoe that's coming out, just letting them that we're here and we may have a different need. We, the expos, letting people know we have a website, and it's definitely word of mouth, which is excellent.
What are some myths that you would like people to dispel when it comes to Black women in health, exercise, as well as overall just running?
When it comes to Black women in health, when we choose a healthier lifestyle, right, we're making conscious choices. It doesn't make us less Black. It makes us Black women that are looking um, to for longevity, right? For our family. I have a young child. I want to be able to see her. Losing both parents before they turn 65, which is what happened with both my parents. I don't want my child to have to go on without me. And, we doing what we're doing. She's 8 months old now. What I eat, and she wants to eat what I eat.
And that
In the
is so true.
beginning, exactly, introducing her to such thing as hummus. You know, I love baba ganoush. I love hum. I like Mediterranean eating fish without it having to be battered and fried. Introducing her to that from the beginning. So, like me, I had to be reprogrammed, right? Maybe she won't have to be reprogrammed, and then her children will take on the same way. And if you teach a woman, we change a whole community.
That is so true. And passing these things on generationally, right? Because we passed on our grandma's recipes. And so I am a person that I'm West Indian. I love West Indian food. I love Southern food. I love it battered, fried. And I recently did go to get an EKG, and they told me that like my heart muscle was thickening. And so, when I asked, well, is there anything that I could do? It was like pretty much just watching it. And so I know that there's steps that I need to personally take to eat better and just, overall health. And so now I am ready to get in the gym. I look forward to joining Black Girls Run and also advocating so that my followers can join me on our journey to overall health, because we do know that health is wealth. What are some future things for Black Girls Run?
Well, right now we're going to do our expo. I believe it's going to be in Chicago.
Oh, I love
We
Chicago.
are partnering with different races. I believe we're co-sponsoring the Miami Marathon again this year. We do co-sponsor the Baltimore Women's Classic, the relays, the Selma to Montgomery. That's very big in our community when it came to speaking about civil rights and Bloody Sunday. There is a race that commemorates it. You can either do a relay, you can run it, or you can bike it. So we are tying our health onto our history. So I will look forward to seeing you at any of these events. You can go online to the web www.blackgirlsrun.com and see all the upcoming events.
Thank you so much for sharing this information. I look forward to being at one of the events, and also I'm going to be championing and challenging some of the silhouettes to join me as well too, because each one teach one, and we definitely, definitely, definitely have to make sure that we are staying fit for our children, for ourselves, and the truth is that someone with a 38, 39 BMI has to do more work, and so I'm not excluding myself from that. I want to bring you guys topics that are interconnected with surgery, and so yes, we need to be fit both pre-op and also post-operative. I want to thank you so much, Yvette, for coming and sharing all this information with us about Black Girls Run today.
Thank you for having me, and I look
Yeah.
forward to you joining us.
Is there
And
Anything
anything
hopefully, we
else
else?
you
can
want
get
to
on
tell
this
them?
together. Come on.
Yes.
We're both new mommies. We can do this.
Well, my son is 4, but I still feel like a new mommy every day. So
You're a different child every day.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
surprised
so
my
true.
baby was quiet.
you're so lucky. And that would have been okay too. Moms, we have to work, right? We have to work. We have to get out there and not just be in the house. Like I think back sometimes about my mom and like our grandparents and how they were struggling with depression, and we know now with eating issues and also overall health because like you said, information wasn't passed down. So I thank you so much for this topic today. It's so important. As you know, it's important to our sorority because the CEO, she took our something that we try to embrace, which is health, and then started her own organization, and then she has so many ambassadors, and then I was able to find out about that, and I'm going to share that information with my followers. So you're so right when you said if you teach a woman something, then you're going to teach a whole community because women don't play.
Absolutely. I'm going to drag you. I'll drag you with me. This finish line together. And I hope to see
Yeah.
you at a race sometime soon.
Thank you so much. It's been 10 years since I ran over 5 miles, but I definitely want to get back in there.
You can
And
do this. Let's go.
Yes.
thank you so much, Yvette. So, kiss the baby, and I will definitely be at a race, and I hope to see you, and you'll just be pulling me along until I get back in shape.
Come on. Let's go. It's a community effort. Have a
Thank you.
great day.
Bye, Yvette.
All right. Bye.
So that would be so amazing for us to be there and just showing my vulnerability. It has been over 10 years since I've worked out, but you get back in shape. That first day, you will feel like there's blood in your lungs. You will feel like you can't breathe. But once you get all of that out, and in the army, they used to say that the pain is it's just like all that you ate leaving your body. Then eventually you're able to breathe better. And my body has definitely been calling and feeling like that's time, especially with juggling so much, being a mom, being a single mom, working, getting my second master's in marketing, all that, you need a release. And so I'm so happy that Yvette was with us today to be able to tell us a little bit more about her organization. And even though there are gyms that sometimes the membership is $1 for the first month or free or whatever it is, just to know, like when we were in the army, I had a 6 pack. I could run 2 miles in 14 or 15 minutes, do 80 push ups. Over like 90 sit-ups. Like I was so great at PT, and then just to let that go, I really want to be able to get back to that. And so something that the doctors try to advocate so much to us about is to be healthy before we get on that table, right? We see so many times how complications happen as a result of patients sometimes, and it's not always the patient's fault and it's not always the doctor's fault, but a lot of times we do see post-operative complications as a result of patients not always being in the best health, right? And we want the healthiest people to have surgery. Elective surgery is that, it's selective, and not everyone gets to undergo surgery even though you may really want to. So for my silhouettes who have been fortunate enough to have successful procedures, let's get in the gym and maintain that, right? Let's do our leg kicks, let's go ahead and do squats, let's do after a tummy tuck. I'm not gonna lie, sit-ups hurt, but let's go ahead and push ourselves, and you will realize how much more happier you will be, how much weight you will see that you're going to lose by eating more healthy. I know so many people now are getting on Ozempic because they want to lose 15, 30 pounds post-operative, but you're really not, like you heard Yvette said today, you're not changing the root cause, which is addressing why you're even overeating, rather than still overeating, but just getting on Ozempic, right? We want to minimize taking medicines that we don't necessarily have to, and we want to definitely increase our overall health. So, to my silhouettes, I'm going to reiterate today that health is wealth. Say it with me. Health is wealth. And I know it's not something that we talk about a lot. And I know that on the platform, you guys always want me to talk about who's the best doctor and who can do the BBL, who's having a sale, who's doing this or who's doing that. But I wanted to do something different and talk about the interconnectedness of surgery with overall health and everything that we're going through. I had my first two BBLs before I had my son. So then I gained 80 pounds from overeating, had severe preeclampsia, postpartum depression, and I wasn't trying to or had anyone that was really pushing me to get in the gym. A lot of people were telling me, put the fork down, but that wasn't the motivation. So what we really need to hear is like, come on, grab your sneakers, let's go to the gym and let's work out. And you feel so much better after working out. So I'm going to accept the challenge of doing Black Girls Run. So if you heard me saying Black Girls Rock, it's just because I've been hearing that saying a lot, mostly from like BT, but it's Black Girls Run. And I challenge you to sign up and let's get some good running sneakers and get out there. So, silhouettes, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you want to make a change with me because we do need to get more physically fit this year. Until next time. Okay, so